Hi there, this is Calvin Guy's Game, and of course, I'm not Calvin, I'm Lewis. So, welcome. Today, I'm doing my top 5 solo games that I've played. Now, really, no particular order, I just did them from the least amount I've played to the most. Um, and these games are all kind of new. Uh, to within the past 5 years, 5-10 years on this. Before I go on, I just want to remind everybody to subscribe, and if you like the video, hit a thumbs up. Of course, my wife saw the video that Calvin put up of us giving one of our reviews for the holidays, so I'm going to do it again. Thumbs up. And my wife just said, "Really, you had to do that?" Of course. And I'm going to be doing that now from this point on. So, going further now, I'm going to start on my top 5 solo board games. First one, I just played this recently with a buddy of mine, and it's a game that it's not in my collection now, but it will be because the action of it is unpredictable. It is Heat, Pedal to the Metal, a 2022 game, publisher Days of Wonder, 1 to 6 players, about 30 to 60 minutes to play. It's ranked right now 40 on BGG, and it's a weight of 2.19. Heat, Pedal to the Metal is a racing game. Basically, that's what it is. It's a racing game. You go around tracks, which they provide several of them. Well, when I say several of them, you can buy more on expansion packs. They give you about 4 of them starting off. And as you go around, you have to make pit stops, buy stuff, improve tires, engine, brakes. And at the end of the race, the individual with the least owing money, so basically the more you have, you win. So you can finish first, but if you spent all your money to get to first place, you end up broke. So you really didn't win the game. You end up owing for getting first. So it's basically a game of managing your car well enough to come in first and come in with a little prize bag. So that's my number 5, Heat, Pedal to the Metal. My number 4, a new game for me for this Christmas, is Under Fallen Skies, a 2020 game. Correction there. Publisher Chicks Games Edition. 1 player, 20 to 40 minutes. It's ranked 242 on BGG. Weight 2.40. Falling Skies is a little game like Space Invaders. That's what caught my eye. It is a very simple game. Aliens coming down and trying to invade your base. You rolling dice trying to knock the aliens down. That is the base game. But there are a storyline into this game, which I like. It is not easy. It is difficult. So if you're an individual that don't like games that are dice driven, that is pushing your luck, this might not be a game for you. But if you're an individual that likes that chance, that am I going to make it? If I'm not going to make it, this is perfect for you. Myself, I like games that deals with dice chances because you never know what might be rolling for your chance. So, Under Falling Skies is a very simple game, and I played it once, so that is number 4 for me. Number 3 for me, which I played several times, and I think Karen will be surprised that if it's not on my number 1 spot. Call to Adventure Epic Origins, a 2022 game. Brotherwise Games, A 1 to 4 players, 30 to 60 minutes to play, 3,314 on BGG, a 2.42 on the weight. In an adventure game, a storytelling game. The only chances you are taking on this is the runestones you are throwing out there. You have a card that tells a story about where you come from. That card is first on the board for you. There's another card that gives you more of your storyline. A third card that is flipped down that tells you where you're going to end up and how you will finish the story with being on the dark side or the light side. As you play, you try to get cards on this little 3x3 grid, and you roll to see what, with the runestone, see what if you can get of coming up with the positive of a light side of the story or a dark side of the story. It is not much of a chance other than what you're rolling of the runestones. It's more of pick your own story, pick your own destiny. It is a very simple game, very straightforward. Can somebody take your card? Yes. It is a very light take that kind of game, unless you buy the expansions, which I do have, and then you can do a cooperative game beating the main boss at the end of the game. And that's what I like about that end goal, that you really in the end are helping each other out to defeat that boss. But Call to Adventure Epic Origins is my number 3 choice for solo games, my opinion. Number 2, which Calvin probably going, that should be number 1. But nope, it's number 2. Ark Nova. That which I mentioned several times. It's a 2021 game. I'm going to mess up the publisher here. Fruitland Spieler publisher. I'm sorry that I messed it up. 1 through 4 players. 90 to 150 minutes game time. Number 3 on BGG. And its weight is 3.77. This is the hefty one on my solo games. It's hefty because there's a lot of cards in there. But you will not be using all the cards in your game. You can eventually go through them, but the repetition of excuse me there. The repetition of seeing those cards at every game is very, very moderate. You get to go through enough of them at the very beginning of the game that you might not get to the very bottom. Ark Nova is a card drafting game. It is trying to build yourself a zoo that you can earn points on the track. And the track is 2 tracks. One will get a reputation of how well you're running the zoo, and another one is how well people are enjoying your zoo. And when both tracks meet, because one goes one way, the other one goes the other opposite way, and when they interact, you win the game. Hopefully, because at the end of the game, everybody also earns points, end game goal points. So you might have won, but if somebody can beat you on a end goal card, you can be coming in second instead of first. Ark Nova has beautiful cards, very detailed cards. Yes, it is somewhat heavy on the reading, but as you get used to the game, you will find it very easy to just know what the card is. It looks a lot of components. It's not. It just looks like that. It's a very interactive game, but the Ottoman, the one system that you play against, it is a very difficult game. That's why it's ranked 3.77 on the weighted. because it is hard to have a goal and get it, because the time, you think you have a lot of time, you don't. The time goes up very, very quick on this game. So Ark Nova, if you want a challenge, that is a game for you. If you don't want a challenge, there's a few other games that might fit for you. But for number 2, Ark Nova. My number 1 for solo games for my choice. And this is a game that I showed recently to Kelvin. He actually enjoyed the game. And it's a game that he actually got for me as a gift. And I do appreciate that. It is Flamecraft, a 2022 game. Cardboard Alchemy publisher, 1 to 5 players, 60 minutes to play, ranked 376 on BGG, weighted 2.19. A very colorful game, very calming game, very enjoyable game. There's really very little take that in this game, other than somebody might want a card that you want and they get there first. That is a little bit take that in the game. Now also in the game, there where you go to shops to get resources to buy a certain cards to give you abilities. If you land there and there's another player there waiting for you, you have to pay them some resources. If it's one player, you pay that one person. If there's 2 players, you have to pay each of them some type of resources. But the solo part of this game is very different from other solo games. At the back of the rulebook, there are goals to accomplish. And as you unlock goals, you get new cards to put in your deck to unlock other abilities for the dragons. So the solo version of this is not that hard, but at trying to accomplish the point levels that you will need, or the goals you need to unlock another shop for the game, or another dragon to use in the game, or another type of goal card in the game. That's the challenging part. I have played Flamecraft about 22 times already, 22, 23 times, and I have just unlocked 4 of the 12 goals at the end of the game. It is not that easy because you get lost on how many points you actually have, and you can get caught up on which ones you want to make, which ones you have not are far away from making. So it does take a little bit memorization of which goals you want to do, and keep an eye and make sure you stay on that goal, because the Ottoman, it is putting the dragons out on what cards are flipped. So you might end up having a shop that has no dragons all the whole game, but getting the cards you need, that's going to be a little tricky of making a goal at the end of the game. But Flamecraft, if you like a colorful game, very easygoing game, not too stressful, a goal ending game that has several goals, I will recommend Flamecraft for you, because it is a very easy going game there. So those are my solo games, my top 5 solo games for 2024. List might change for 2025, but that's it for them. Now, just remind you, please subscribe to Calvin God's Game. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm to get him more views. Other than that, like Calvin would say, get a board game to the table with your friends and family. See ya.